all your dreams.
Hi everyone, and welcome to The Other Side. My name is Mike Miller, and I'm honored today to have special guest Andrew Tinker. Andrew, thanks for coming.
Thank you for inviting me.
And Andrew's a very accomplished musician who's been doing a lot of work in the area for a number of years. Graduated from UNT in 2007. In 2000, you were instrumental in forming the Polyphonic Spree.
Yeah. I was just in high school at the time.
Really?
And I had been playing French horn for a few years in school band and things.
Yeah.
And, a friend of mine, this is kind of a funny story because I think so much of the music industry hinges on what connections we make with people and how we deal with individuals. And an individual that knew me knew Tim DeLauder, who was the leader of the Polyphonic Spree. And Tim was looking for a French horn player. And so my friend Al was like, hey, I know a kid that's a French horn player. And so they were like, well, bring him out. And so I went out there and I had a rehearsal with the band, and it was kind of a love at first note, and we started forming the band from there. And I was actually the first wind player in the band. And
oh, really?
Yeah, the first show there was only 13 of us, and it grew to almost 30 by the time I left.
Is that right?
Yeah. So it was a pretty wild ride for, I think I was 15 at the first rehearsal for a kid, and I was there all the way till I was 18 or 19.
Were you with them when they were on VH1?
I don't know. I made a couple of music videos, so they may have been on VH1 if that's what you mean.
I know there was an awards show one night.
The MTV Music Awards.
Yeah.
No, that was right after I left. That was literally
really?
like a few weeks after I left.
Oh, really?
So most of the stuff that I did was the UK TV shows, and we got a UK silver record for the first record.
Yeah,
and
that's
so
great.
that was the bulk of my work, was overseas. And then right as I was leaving the band is when it started to catch on here in America.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Was that in London where y'all worked mainly?
Yeah, we worked a lot there. We did a couple of UK tours, a little bit of the mainland Europe, and the last big thing that I did with them was we went to Tokyo, which was real
really?
fun. It was like a giant video game.
I bet.
Yeah. Sensory overload, but a whole lot of fun.
Yeah. In 2009, you put out your album, It Takes the World.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was kind of one of the last things that I wanted to do at my stay at UNT. So after Polyphonic Spree, I kind of wanted to challenge myself musically, so I came to UNT to find young players like me that were, trying to find their musical style and trying to learn a little bit more, and wanted a world-class music education. So I came here, and that's where I met the people that played on that record. And my senior year is when I really started trying to make that record as, kind of to show what I had learned at North Texas. And it took a while, and there were a lot of great players on it, and I really enjoyed making it. It was a lot of work. It was my first, really big project to put together. And it was 11 songs, and we recorded it right here in Denton.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's great. That's a lot of work for sure.
Yeah.
I've been listening and watching a lot of his videos over the last month. 19 is a really cool song that you do.
Yeah, that one's on It Takes the World.
Oh, really? Yeah. Working Man Blues.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Every day at the Liquid Lounge, we were talking about your drum solo in that.
Oh, yeah.
That's Jeff Randall.
Jeff Randall, he's a kid that I met here at UNT.
Really?
Well, he's not a kid anymore. He's a grown man. We all are. But we were kids when we met, and I got to give Jeff Randall props. He has been the longest standing member of my band.
Oh, really?
Out of anyone in all the bands that I've been in. And one of the reasons that I love playing with him is because we don't always agree musically. And he really challenges me to think outside the box, and I think I challenge him too. And so, we kind of go back and forth and have this yin and yang thing, but I think that working with him has really challenged me to get more out of my music than maybe what I just hear on the first listen. So I really have a lot of respect for him. I met him in a music theory class I was grading.
Oh, really?
That's how I made my dough at North Texas. Was I graded for the music theory department.
Oh, really?
And it offered me a little bit extra income between classes and stuff. So
yeah, that's good.
One of the great things about that was I got to see a lot of the players that were coming in, and Jeff was one of them. And he had seen me play at Haley's with a Jamiroquai cover band of all bands. It was really fun. I was singing with that band, and he came up to me and was like, "Hey man, I really liked your singing. You know, what are you working on? Are you doing any projects? I'd love to play with you." And I was like, "Well, let's go play." So we walked right over to his practice room right there after class, and he sat down in one of the little tiny UNT practice rooms and played for me. And I was like, "Dude, you're great. Let's go." And that was the beginning. It was very informal and kind of just grew into a musical relationship that I've really enjoyed so far.
Yeah, that's so important, I know, to have good people that you can work with like that too. The two heads is better than one type concept, yeah.
Definitely. And he's definitely a specialist, man. He's a great drummer.
He is.
He brings a lot to the table there.
Yeah, that's a really cool drum solo he does on Every Day at the Liquid Lounge. Bohemian Rhapsody, was that done at Haley's also?
That was done at, it was called the Boiler Room then, but now it's the Abbey Underground.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And that was a fun one. We put together a show with a band called Darcy, another local band, and they love to sing, you know, and they have a lot of really tight harmonies. So we were trying to think of some joint things that we could do together, and we played a Beach Boys song together, and then we played that Bohemian Rhapsody together. And all of us had always dreamed of actually trying to pull off Bohemian Rhapsody live, and you know, we battled our way through it, and it happened, and that was a really fun experience for me to really challenge myself to do something live that I'd always dreamed of.
Yeah.
You know, for whether it was good or bad, whatever, but we did it. And,
so many
that was
bands
really
could
fun.
never do that.
Yeah. It took a lot of people, and it was fun.
Yeah, the singing sounds so good.
Well, thank you.
And you do cover songs as well. I Try, Macy Gray cover.
That's an old one.
That's an old one?
Yeah, that's a real old one. That's from when I was probably just starting with my band.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we were kind of trying to find what we wanted to play, and we've played so much.
Yeah.
And I think that the greatest challenge for me has been just finding a style, and I can't say if I've actually found it yet.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that I'll zero in sometime.
And maybe that's
before I'm 30.
It changes as you develop, probably.
I think it does.
Yeah.
I think it does, but we keep coming back to our influences, right? It's a constant battle for me to find where my indicator needle is. I feel like on one side of the spectrum as an artist, we're constantly trying to be ourselves and individuals.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, we're trying to do justice to our influences and,
Yeah.
and be stylish, you know, and be relevant.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm going back and forth, you know, and sometimes I find myself trying to be all style, you know, and I go, wow, is this really me? And then I got to go back. And sometimes I find myself just totally in my own world of La La Land and going, is this relevant? So
Yeah.
I'm constantly trying to go back and forth between the two and find the center ground. I think that's really where I am as an artist, when I'm the best.
Well, you mentioned the Beach Boys.
Mm-hmm.
Were they a band that influenced you when you were younger?
Oh, absolutely. Well, maybe not younger, because I didn't really discover them till I was a teenager.
Oh, really? Yeah.
But what really blew my mind was, I mean, everybody says Pet Sounds, right? And that's a huge record. But when I really started trying to play Pet Sounds for myself, you know, picking it out on the keyboard, I just found that the harmony is so creative. And I was a music theory major at North Texas, and to be able to delve into just like the inversions that they use and the different secondary tonal levels, and all the songs are just so deep and dense, but when you listen to them, you don't get lost in it. You know, it makes sense. It has a flow to it, and as a listener, I never really thought of it as complex. It's just like this beautiful kaleidoscope of sound that's constantly turning.
Yeah.
And it really inspired me to expand my tonal vocabulary as well.
And they were kind of like a family band, some brothers and cousins, and
yeah.
And are there some family members in your band?
Yeah, my brother George has played with me since I was a teenager in my bands, and we've grown up a lot together, and he's changed a lot. He was a drummer at first, and he's played guitar with me, and now he's playing more steel guitar.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So we've been trying to kind of do some southern stuff, some blues stuff, and he kind of picked that instrument up and started practicing it, and we were like, let's give it a shot. So we've had fun exploring the steel guitar, and who knows where we'll be in a year. Maybe he'll be on tablas or something, I don't know. But yeah, he's played with me, and my mom and dad are both musical, and my other brother William is very creative, and he likes to sing. He's actually more on the theater side, though.
Oh, but, really? Yeah.
Yeah, we're all kind of creative, and we've always, my brothers and I have always been encouraged by my parents to be expressive and creative, and that's been great.
They were musicians growing up, and...
My dad always was in music lessons and, played in school band and got a theater degree and sings.
Oh, really?
And so we always had a piano and a guitar at my house.
Yeah.
And my mom loves to sing,
Really?
She sings in the church choir.
Oh,
and, so we've always kind of grown up with it. And I got to, probably my first, individual music experience. I say individual because it was, without my parents at all, was I finally found my dad's music books.
Oh, really?
When I was about 12, and I pulled the Elton John Greatest Hits out, which was a record that I had been in love with on
really?
vinyl. I used to, as a kid, I loved getting to turn it over, and it's such a tactile experience of listening. So I had listened to that record for years, and I found the book for it, and I was like, wow, hey, here's the code to Elton John.
Yeah,
So,
the secrets.
So I started deciphering it. I could read a little bit. And the first one that I learned was Border Song, for the sole reason was that it was C major. There was no black and white keys, right? Well, that's what I thought. But I started learning it, and then I learned that there was black and white keys in it. But that was the first song I ever learned by myself, was Border Song, Elton John.
Oh, really? Yeah. Now, the lyrics to your songs, do you write those, or?
Yes.
Really? Do you collaborate with other writers too sometimes?
I have for certain projects. Most of my collaborations have been for a very specific project, like say a soundtrack or commercial work.
Yeah, really.
Where there's people that really know what they want, and so we collaborate on the lyrics and to really get a specific kind of thing. But
when you mentioned Elton John, that made me think he was teamed up with Bernie Taupin.
Yeah,
such a magical combination.
It really was, and the more I kind of look at Elton John, I'm amazed by what a magical combination that must have been happening in London then. And one of my favorite Elton John records is Tumbleweed Connection. And I love, you open the vinyl up and it's got the booklet inside, and the booklet is actually stapled in the vinyl, right? And you can flip through it, and it's got the pictures of all the people that played in it in this old format, old style looking pictures, a real sepia tone.
Oh yeah,
and it's so wonderful to look at all of the faces that went into making this record, all the guitar players, the producer and the arranger.
Yeah, it just makes you feel close to it.
It really does,
Yeah.
and it amazes me how many people worked on those great records.
Yeah, that's true too.
I feel like we've lost a little bit of that because so many people are making records, in their garages with just a few people for not very much money. And the good thing about that is I think you really get an artist snapshot of what that person is right then.
Yeah.
But what I really, in my career, would like to be able to look back on and see is a career filled with my own, authentic artistry, but influenced and collaborated on with lots of really great people.
Yeah, I think that's the best combination.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
It costs some money. That's the thing is, to get more people, you got to get money. So if any of your listeners or watchers, viewers are interested in sponsoring a record, send me money.
And so we could talk quite a while. Andrew has a really interesting background, but let me get off of here and let him play some music for y'all, and stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching.
Well, my name's Andrew Tinker, and I'm real honored to get to play a few songs for you. So I picked some songs. Some of them are old, some of them are new. But the first one that I like to play is a song that I have revamped a few times throughout the years. It's called Let It Ride, and it's the one that won me the UNT songwriting competition in 2005. This is a little bit different than the way I played it then, but I think you'll like it. Let's say goodbye to these bright city lights and the silence of these cold and lonely roads. The nightlife earth is calling to her sons and to her daughters, and a song echoes out through my bones. The moon in the sky is a ghost sign from heaven that knows what's ahead or where we've been. So join in the race to the glow of the morning, and I'll see you where the daylight begins. Let it ride, let it ride. Lord knows it's been quiet, but the music never died. Let it ride, let it ride. Starlight in the heavens be our guide. Let's say goodbye to this life for the broken, whose shackles bind a man to his grave. Moving as one with the children of freedom, steady as the endless ocean wave. No matter the peril, we are sisters and we are brothers, flying down the road that knows no end. Always drawing closer to the edge of the morning, and I see you where the daylight begins. Let it ride, let it ride. Lord knows it's been quiet, but the music never died. Let it ride, let it ride. Starlight in the heaven be our guide. Let it ride, oh let it ride. Lord knows it's been quiet, but the music never died. Let it ride, oh let it ride. Starlight in the heavens be our guide. Let it ride. Starlight in the heavens be our guide. So that's a tune called Let It Ride. It's an old one. I think next up I'd like to play a new one. Yeah, that sounds good, a new one. Let me retune my guitar. So this is a song that I wrote to commemorate a wedding. I really wanted to get in touch with that feeling of being with somebody and having a bond with them. And so I wrote this song to put myself into that position. And this song actually made me think more after I wrote it than before I wrote it. So it's maybe kind of one of those prophetic songs. I've changed the key a couple times, so now I'm going to play it in A flat, and I think it suits my voice. So this song is called I Can't Do It Alone. Wanna walk a path that has never been walked before. Wanna build myself a boat and sail around the whole wide world. Wanna stand atop a mountain and look out at the earth below. But I can't do it alone. I can't do it alone. I wanna live my life until my life is done. Look back from time to time and see how far I've come. I wanna know tomorrow in a moment on my own. But I can't do it alone. A day and night and all the time searching for myself. I never thought that I would do depend so much on someone else. But as I see the world go round and I try to find my place, I know I can't do this without you. And I'm not ashamed to say, though I spent my life trying to be strong, saying that I never need nobody's help to get along. Well, now I rest easy, 'cause now I know that I can't do it alone. Day and night and all that time searching for myself, I never thought that I would depend so much on someone else. But as I see the world go round and I try to find my place, well, I know I can't do this without you. And I'm not ashamed to say, I wanna feel a deep connection on a crowded street. Wanna hear a familiar voice calling out to me. I wanna know love unending in a world unknown. But I can't do it alone. I can't do it alone. Thanks. So that was a song called I Can't Do It Alone. It's a newer one. How about one that I wrote? This is maybe the oldest one that I ever wrote, that I'm going to play today at least. Not the oldest that I ever wrote, but I was definitely a teenager when I wrote it. It's kind of a dreamy little song, almost a samba. It's called My Three Queens. The sixth day number, no mistaking, gazing back at me, contemplating favors. I cannot deny these three. And later on, a string will break, and I'll give away my deed and take them back to springtime in a memory. In a memory. But summer has gone, and autumn has faded, and cold winter air finds me here. 3 to get ready, and 3 is a crowd. So tell me if I get too loud. Later in the evening, out the door I walk, and one will stand outside with me as 2 stay inland talk, and all of them will leave with me, if only in a dream, to take me back to springtime in a memory. In a memory. Summer has gone, autumn has faded, and cold winter air finds me here. 3 to get ready, almost over, I swear. Ask for a song, I hope it's not too long. I think I'll play one more for you that I wrote to commemorate one of the large projects in my life. I built a recording studio. And when I say I built a recording studio, my friends and I actually built a studio from the ground up. We were out there putting the foundation. Well, we didn't lay the foundation, so I can't say we didn't pour the concrete, but we did put up the frame and designed the way that all the angles would be, and we built it from the bottom up to the roof, and we had a lot of help, and it took a couple of years. But it was a really fun experience, and I wrote a song to commemorate it called I Built a House. And I think I'll play it as my last one for this installment. Thanks for listening. And this song is called I Built a House. I built a house that was made for singing, and folks would come from all across the land. I built a house for 1,000 voices, and I built it with my own 2 hands. I built a house that would stand for ages, beyond the years of any mortal man. I built a house that would thrive and prosper, and I built it with my own 2 hands. And many more would lend their hands to see it finished, for many days and many nights. And by the people lifted up each other to paint the walls and hang the lights. And all the fruits of the earth were my left hand, and the Almighty was my right. And by the people lifted up each other, sisters and brothers, we sing in numbers. I built a house for my children's children, and reaching up to heaven, there she stands. I built a house for 1,000 voices, and I built it with my own 2 hands. And many more would lend their hands to see it finished, for many days and many nights. And by the people lifted up each other, sisters and brothers, we sing in numbers. I built a house for 1,000 voices, and reaching up to heaven, there she stands. I built a house that would thrive and prosper, and I built it with my own 2 hands. And I built it with my own 2 hands. Thank you very much. My name's Andrew Tinker, and I sure have enjoyed playing for you.